Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, Fast and Furious franchise. Yes, it has come out over the past several days, even though the Fast and Furious 7 still in theaters, that there will be an 8th version of this franchise. Vin Diesel has already come out and said that April 14th of 2017 will be the next installment of the most profitable movie franchise, I think almost probably in cinema history, and oddly enough that involves automobiles. The interesting thing is, if you're a little bit upset about this, you may have someone else to blame, and that someone else is China. Oddly enough, whatever money that this franchise makes in the United States, it makes the same, if not more, in China. Now, China only allows a handful of movies, somewhere between 25 and 30 movies, to come from other countries, and this is one, and the Chinese folks love it. Further proof is, remember the Need for Speed franchise with Aaron Paul, who was one of the stars of the television series Breaking Bad? That film wasn't the greatest, but guess what? It's been bankrolled to make a second version of that film, and it's been bankrolled in China. In fact, it's going to be completely done. All the production, all the funding, and all the filming is going to be done in China, so you're going to see another version of that film as well. Another group that's having an interesting situation going on is the folks over at Volkswagen. Volkswagen's had a kind of a weird deal, especially over the past several years, so they really wanted to become #1 in the world. And that has been involved this particular fellow, which is the CEO of the company. This is Martin Winterkorn. Now, I myself don't really follow a ton of the inner workings, even though it is fantastically fascinating of some of the inner personnel workings inside of the automobile industry. At least, I don't talk about it on this particular program, but this has been a weird one. Martin Winterkorn, which I feel has done a fairly good job ahead of the Volkswagen group. But there's one person inside of the group, and he's way above himself, Mr. Winterkorn here. It's this fellow. This is Ferdinand Piëch. He is chairman of the board. Yes, he is a big head honcho. And he has lost confidence in Mr. Winterkorn and wants him out. Now, a lot of folks have been pointing towards Winterkorn actually taking the place of Ferdinand Piëch when he finally steps down as being chairman of the board. Now, an interesting situation. Board members are kind of split between them, that some people really love Winterkorn and other people really want to follow Piëch. So the people who really love Winterkorn, oddly enough, are some of the old Porsche family who are really head inside of the Volkswagen group. So, interesting little situation. Now, the May 5th was going to be their big quarterly meeting, and there was going to be a lot of infighting going on, but guess what? It may have solved itself, because Mr. Piëch here, the day of the taping of this program, stepped down as the chairman of the board for the Volkswagen Group, which is an extremely surprising situation. I thought he was going to fight this to the end, but apparently he may have looked at the whole front line and saw there was a lot more people that were pro-Winterkorn. He thought he may lose this battle. So, interesting little situation inside the Volkswagen Group. Next up on the list, pretty much the only car story I'm going to do in this whole program. Sorry about that. But it involves these two machines. At least, well, the Chevrolet Corvette is going to get a 2016 refresh. Now, it's mainly appearance packages across the board. New colors, new interior colors, and things like this. But a couple of the cars that debuted were the brand new C7R race car, but they're going to build a tribute road car, which is going to be the Z06 C7R. Now, this particular machine mainly gets some appearance style stuff. It gets a lot of the high-end upgrades that come with the 3LT package and things like this, but one of the things it does as far as the appearance package is that bare naked carbon hood that it has the big logo for the race team. It's got a lot of the other tip of the caps to the race team as well. Now, they're only going to build a handful of these, so if you want to get a hold of one, you better head down to your General Motors dealership really quickly, because there's only 500 of these built. Now, it still comes with the same 6.2-liter supercharged V8, making 650 brake horsepower and 650 pounds-feet of torque, coming with a 7-speed manual transmission or the new 8-speed automatic gearbox. Now, the trick is, like I said, only 500 of these built, and you can get it in convertible or coupe form. They have yet to release the actual pricing for this machine, but I'm assuming it's going to have quite a little bit of a premium on top of it, but it is still a pretty neat piece of kit. Only 2 colors available, black and in this color. This is Corvette Racing Yellow, which I'm assuming most of them are going to come out as. Next up on the list, well, just about every program over the past several months has been talking about Top Gear. We talked about in the last shows that they were actually putting together the final touches on some of the programs that is left from Season 22. May actually get to see, but it looks like this thing is going to have to start fresh again, because we've heard from all the major players, one of them being obviously Jeremy Clarkson, who basically was not allowed to sign a new contract, or basically, if you want to take that as him being fired from the program. One of the people who's been the most vocal of the presenters have been James May. James May pretty much came out right off the bat and said, you know what, we can't continue this without Jeremy Clarkson. He's an integral part of the group, and since then has now stepped down from the BBC and has not signed his new contract, in fact, resigning from the BBC. One of the people that's kind of been behind the spotlight in this is Richard Hammond. Hammond now in the past several days has done the exact same thing. Stepped down from the BBC, has not signed his new contract. So all 3 presenters are now out of the Top Gear program. And then the bigger piece of the puzzle is the executive producer, Andy Willen. He's actually now come in. He had an extended contract already still that was still open for the next several, I don't know, months or years. But he has now resigned from the program, which has now furthered the rumors that that part where Clarkson said he was going to be really busy this summer, apparently all 4 of these guys are going to be really busy because they're all going to be working on a brand new automotive program, which is really going to rival the Top Gear folks. They're really going to have to pull something out of the hat. Cannot wait to see what the BBC does with the new Top Gear franchise, but I further cannot wait for what these 4 guys are going to do with their new automotive show. And last up on the list, a couple of congrats are out there for people. One of them being this fellow, Chris Meek. He has had a tough time. The 35-year-old British-born rally driver has had a tough time over the past several years. Actually was spotted by Colin McRae back in the early 2000s as actually well, he was going to be a successor to him, kind of. I mean, where he's basically a mentor to the kid. And I've really been pulling for this kid. The past several years, he's had some heartbreaking accidents in the leads of World Rallies. But the day of the taping of this particular program, Rally Argentina ended, and Mr. Meek finally got his maiden victory. The first time a British-born rally driver has won since Colin McRae back in 2002 in Rally Safari. And in fact, Mr. Meek, very, very thankful, did a big and dedicated the entire rally to Colin McRae, the late great Colin McRae. So a fantastic deal. I just was so happy getting to watch the live power stage to get to see this guy pull out a victory. Another fellow with a very, very famous person in his background is this fellow. This is Mick Schumacher, who won his debut race the day of the taping of this program in the Formula 4 German round. Mick Schumacher, you may wonder, well, that Schumacher name sounds familiar. Yes, this is Michael Schumacher's oldest son, 16 years old. Mr. Schumacher obviously had that terrible accident over a year ago where he's actually been, well, he's had a pretty heavy head injury, so it's nice to see Mick Schumacher do very, very well in automobile racing. He may have quite the future. We'll have to wait and see. But a big congratulations to those 2 guys from all of us here at Motor Cars. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page and like us over there, we'd appreciate it. And we update that every day with a lot of the news, the coolest news that goes down in the automobile industry every day. A lot of the stuff that doesn't make the big show. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you'd be first on the docket to get the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.